No Rest for the Weekend's coverage of the Tribeca Film Festival is sponsored by New York Women in Film and Television. NYWIFT congratulates its 15 members with films at Tribeca 2023. nywift.org. Black Magic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. blackmagicdesign.com. And by JMR Rentals, professional, digital, cinema and broadcast equipment rentals in Brooklyn, New York. jmrny.com.
Welcome, Sheila.
Thank you, Jason. Great to be here.
Well, thanks for doing this. I know you're doing a bunch of these today. I'm always grateful to be part of anyone's junkets. I want to talk to you about Elemental, obviously, but I want to talk to you a bit about you first. So, how did you get started in show business and acting? What's your origin story?
So I am the child of immigrants, and I'm an immigrant myself. I was born in Iran, and we moved to the States when I was 10 years old. And when I was 15, I happened to see a play at my high school. It was Van Nuys High School. It was a performing arts magnet, and I was stunned and amazed by the incredible 18-year-old actors and actresses that were on stage before me. And that's when this is all I wanted to do. And all I thought was ever possible for me to do was theater. So I started with being the prop mistress and then getting parts in musicals and parts in plays. I ended up playing in my senior year, The Crucible. I played Elizabeth Proctor. So I worked my way up from being a prop mistress. And then cut to, it was years. I went to UCLA as a biological anthropology major. I was going to go into medical school to make my dad happy. We immigrants do that. And it wasn't until my dad passed away in 1998 that I decided to follow my dreams of acting, which again to me was theater. And being Iranian, I started doing plays globally for the Iranian diaspora all over the world. Couldn't go back to Iran, but and that's how I got started. And it's only relatively recent. It's only a few years that I've been doing film and television.
I want to talk to you about Elemental. So, and we'll get into the whole Pixar experience. But first of all, tell us about the film, because it's a bit unusual from the normal Pixar stock. But tell us a little bit about the film. Give me a little look at the world, and then talk about the character you play.
So Elemental, it's an all-new original feature film, and it's set in Element City, where fire, water, land, and air residents all live together. And so the story follows this young 20-something-year-old woman named Ember. She's a fire character, so she's tough, quick-witted, and she's the child of immigrants, because although all the residents of Element City are immigrants, the fire are immigrants that came latest. They came last. So they have a bit of a harder time fitting in and living in the city. And so being an immigrant, she's fiercely loyal to her family, and she's keenly aware of the sacrifices that her mother and father, I play her mom, Cinder Lumen, her mom and dad made to give her a better life. And so she meets Wade, this water guy, and there's a very unlikely kind of friendship that happens between these two people. And this friendship causes her to start rethinking life, rethinking how she feels about Element City, as well as rethinking herself and what's important to her as a person, as opposed to a daughter of immigrants.
It causes some steam, I would imagine.
It's very good, and it's full of puns. Good job.
Give me a little backstory. You tell me a little story about how you got the role. Tell me about the Pixar experience. I've heard different things about people who do voices there. Just give me a little background on that.
I feel so honored, so honored. I don't even know what other word I could use than that. And surprised that Peter Sohn, who is the creator of this beautiful film, he's the director, and he co-wrote it, and it's based on his own story, a very personal story, because he's also a son of immigrants, Korean immigrants. So he came to me, and to this day, I'm stunned. To this day, I'm stunned that I had such a great uh, blessing happen for me. And he asked me to play that the character of Cinder is actually loosely based on his mom, his Korean mom. So that was another just incredible honor for me to do, because I really wanted to do her justice, her beautiful soul, may she rest in peace, and to make the character as real as possible and not cartoony. Um, but also there was another challenge, and that was that the people, these fire people, speak a different language, and we had a brilliant linguist create a language for us. It's called Fireish, and so Peter and I were collaborating on, okay, so if someone is raised, born and raised speaking this language, when they speak English, how does that sound? So that was, some hours went into that, and it was such a pleasure working with him. Peter and Denise Ream, his producer, they're just so lovely and such masters at their craft. But they're like, when I look at Peter, he's like everything that's good about humanity is in one person. It's just such a pleasure to work with him.
How do you approach a voice character as opposed to, a character that you're going to play on camera? And are you guys all recording together? Like, are you there as an ensemble, or is everybody just kind of doing their own thing by themselves?
So the common denominator is Peter, because he's directing this. For that reason, I haven't even met the other actors yet. So we would come in on different days, but Peter would guide us because he knows exactly what he's looking for, and he knows the energy of where he needs the energy to go. So he guides us and he directs us, so that in the end it looks like not just a unified piece, but it looks like these characters are actually speaking with each other, and that speaks to Peter's brilliance as a director. It's very much like approaching a full, being in front of the camera. The only difference is, and this is what I love so much about doing voiceover work, is that, how in front of a camera you have to have a certain degree of stillness. As a voice character, you can just really get into it, and it actually helps to get into it and to have these big expressions, to get your voice to express in a different way than you would as a on camera.
But I imagine, coming from the theater is a blessing and that type of thing. Because, in theater, the audience is so far away, you have to be big. Like, you can't, everything about film acting is so small now, and naturalistic.
Yeah, and that's the challenge, totally. And that's, for me, that's the challenge of film acting, is to make it strong, to make it small. So many times to my film directors, they're like, Sheila, what are you doing? And bring it down. And I'm like, I'm acting for the last row. Yeah, so and I'm still learning film. I'm still learning film acting, and to make it small, but to make it compelling, it's not easy.
Was it for you, especially coming from theater, was it weird not having the other people there to play off of, and not, because acting's all about chemistry, right? So, like, is it, if you're just kind of acting and the director's saying do this, do that, does it ever take you out of it, kind of thing?
No, it doesn't take me out of it, because I'll tell you, as you probably know, for us actors, the majority of our acting life is doing auditions, and there's nobody there. So we have to, as actors, we have to have a really good imagination. So that wasn't a problem for me at all. And a lot of times, even when actors are there, they're hiding behind the camera. You can barely see an eye, or sometimes you're acting to a dot, somewhere around the camera. So that's what actors do. You have to imagine that the other person's there.
I got to wrap up, but for audiences out there who want to check this film out, what can they expect? What are audiences going to get out of this picture?
It is a stunning film. It is a stunning film. It's funny, it's fun, visually incredible, audio, it is an audio journey. The music is incredible. You feel like you're doing an incredible sound meditation. And it's coming out June 16th. I suggest if you can, please see it in the theater. It's made for that. It's an experience, and it's fun, and it's funny. It's really funny.
Is it going to make me cry? Tell me now.
Yes, it's going to make you cry, but it's going to make you laugh, and it's going to make you laugh through your tears. I promise.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.